Good morning, all. Today is the 22nd of April, and we are here to have the last part explanation of the ongoing text Indigo by Louis Fisher. It's been almost 4 to 5 days that I've been explaining parts of the text. I've given you questions in the form of Google quiz. Although the response has not been really good, a very few number of you have actually sent me your answers. Yesterday I checked, as far as I remember, out of all the students that are there in the class, only 10 of them have responded, have actually finished the homework. So I implore you, please complete the submissions the moment you're given this. And regarding the last quiz of this chapter, please submit it by today. Moving on with the explanation, it is a classic Gandhian story of struggle, of resilience, of his desire to make the British leave India by non-violence. It is a case of a group of farmers being cheated in a way that they were asked. So the farmers didn't own land, they were sharecroppers. The lands were owned by the British landlords, not even Indians, British landlords. So they asked the sharecroppers, the farmers, to grow whatever they wanted to grow, and to use that piece of land they had to grow indigo in 15% of that area and pay that entire indigo as rent. The remaining 75% they could use to grow anything else. But as it turns out, we may think 15% is really less and small, but as it turns out, that the 75% of food crop production was not as beneficiary to them. And over time, because whenever occasion they failed to grow a certain volume of indigo crops, they had to pay extra out of their own pockets. This was a problem for the farmers. So this farmer called, whose name you have found out in the first page, Shukla, he went to Lucknow, met Gandhi. He was very resilient. He asked Gandhi, "You have to come. You have to come to Champaran." Gandhi said, "I'll meet you in Calcutta." After a few months, he waited. He went to Calcutta on the day that Gandhi mentioned, which was quite a few months after their first meeting in Lucknow, and it took him via Patna to Champaran. That was the contribution of Shukla, but he, being a farmer, had limited knowledge of what was happening. Now, this is very important for you to know that while this farming was happening, while they had to give 15%, the sharecroppers had to give 15% to the British landlords, because indigo was a very important crop, was a very important dye for their business, because they sold the indigo color, the dye, for all type of clothes and lots of other purposes through East India Company and other companies all over the world. But Germany, at that point of time when this story was, the time period of the story, at that point of time, Germany developed synthetic indigo, which means from chemicals, from smaller amount of chemicals and with much less money, they could develop a lot of indigo color, which was only possible to grow naturally before. So once the British realized that, oh, we can, we have a competition in the market now, and we won't be able to sell so much of, indigo dye, naturally produced indigo dye all over the world. They say, all right, so we'll do one thing. We'll ask the sharecroppers not to pay any more rent, that 15% rent, that 15% indigo that they had to give away, and to free them from this rent system, the British asked extra money from the farmers. So they were so shrewd, the British was so shrewd. Try to understand. The shrewdness is very, very, very important in this case. They realized, okay, we are landlords, we don't need the indigo, natural indigo anymore, but we won't easily release the rent system from the farmers. We will take extra money from them to make them free of what is legally their right. So the farmers should not, it's like It's like if you earn 10 rupees and someone says, okay, you have to give me set 3 rupees or 4 rupees out of that. That is a large portion. 15% is a large portion. Right? Even the tax slabs that we have in India now and in world over, such a large taxation, such a very broad taxation system is harmful for the small farmers. All right, moving on. So this was the point of time when Gandhi came. This was the point of time when Gandhi realized that these farmers were being cheated and looted, and he took the help of the local politicians and lawyers. The farmers had lawyers. The farmers could have had lawyers, but the lawyers did not fight cases for them as Indians. They did not support them. They just had a client and advocate relationship. So if the farmers paid money to the lawyers fought for them. It was not an Indian versus British fight. This is what Gandhi did. So as Gandhi went to Champaran, he spoke to the British Landlord Association, who said, no, you have to get lost from here. We don't want you to meddle in over here, because they were scared that if the farmers and all the people get to know that they were being actually cheated and looted by the British, they could come in large numbers and could revolt. They could, create a movement. This is what they were scared about. And they also took Gandhi to court, and there was a point of time when Gandhi would have been sent to jail. The day Gandhi was sent to jail, was about to be sent to jail, very large number of peasants came in support of him in the court, and not just the peasants, even the lawyers, including Maulana Mazraul Haq. There was Rajendra Prasad and a few other major freedom fighters at that point of time, who later on became freedom fighters. They came and realized and saw that if an outsider, person from Gujarat who has no connection with this local region, is having a fight for the farmers, for these peasants, they felt, they realized that they should also do something. It is also their responsibility to actually help the farmers out there. So it was a legal battle that Gandhi got into. He was non-violent. He never went and created a whole violent movement by the farmers for all of them to go and shout to the district collector's office and request for the rents to be removed. No, he went legally. The British first asked him to leave. The British managers over there first asked him to leave, then gave him a court summons, called him to court. He said, no, I'm not leaving, you can do whatever you want. And the British actually saw the large number of people that were there, and they realized that if they do something brutal, the farmers may revolt against them. All right, so I mean, this is the whole essence. This is the whole essence of this story, that Gandhi was successful. He was successful in putting in the idea of courage. Once you believe in something, before you do something, you need to be believing in something. And that's what Gandhi gave to the farmers, and not just the farmers, even the local leaders in that area. That self-rule is important. And that's something that Gandhi himself realized, Gandhi himself learned, that the British need to go. We can no more have a system of, the British can also be here and the Indians can also be here, because the British were exploiting to an extent where, constantly the people who are in trouble, the poor people, they remain poor, and the British kept on getting rich. There was no socialist type of government where the people who need support, who are not rich, who lack education and sanitation and health, are given these facilities. They were just like made to work like slaves. Later on, because British took a large amount of money as compensation, which I mentioned in the beginning of this explanation, that the sharecroppers paid some compensation to the British government, to rid them, to make them free of the rent, when they realized that Germany is producing synthetic indigo. The British had put the system of compensation to the farmers if they wanted to not give the rent. So if you don't want to give the rent anymore, you'll have to pay some extra compensation to get free of the rent. That was illegal. That was something that was found out later, This is what Gandhi requested for all the refund to be given to the farmers. The government said no, we can give only 50%, and Gandhi said we yes, give us 50%, and then there was some more legal battle that went on, that finally the government only gave 25% of the compensation back. The illegal money which the British government had taken from the farmers, out of all the amount they paid back only 25%. And they thought, we think Gandhi is again going to create some mess. But surprisingly, he agreed that okay, 25% is enough, give us the 25% of the money back. They did not realize one thing, which even the farmers and the local leaders did not realize, that yes, we are getting much less money than what we should have got back. But instead of the money, we're getting the courage. We're getting to know that yes, it is possible to fight the British government. Before that, they could not at all imagine that it was possible to legally and non-violently get your own rights. Be courageous enough to fight. That was the idea that Gandhi implemented, and this is why you have this chapter in your story, in your textbook. That it's more important to have courage, and then only you do the other things. This is the basic idea that is there in the text. Again, mentioning about the questions, the 5 questions which I gave as Google Forms few days ago. I think it was Saturday. Not much of you have completed. Please complete the answers of the questions mentioned. That's number one. That's your previous homework. Number two is the questions that have come up on the screen and will also be uploaded as Google Slides with this in this Google Stream class. You have to write down the question along with the answers based on the marks that have been mentioned on your notebook, and I won't be able to check it obviously because you are there and I'm here, but please know that teachers are keeping a record of all the homework that has been given to you. Make sure you complete it later on when schools resume and we check your work is completed, and I may also randomly get in touch with you so that I may ask you to send your homework to me through WhatsApp. All of you don't have to send it. I'll specifically get in touch with certain people, and I hope they would have completed their work on time. Until then, goodbye and stay safe.